And now, in a new damning report, the Ruderman Family Foundation revealing that some 60% of Israeli Jews are hiding their Jewish identity and even Israeli nationality while traveling abroad. This in fear for their personal safety, as anti-Semitic incidents are spiking all around the world. Here with the details, programs and media officer with the Ruderman Family Foundation, Liat Dolengiewicz. Liat, thank you so much for being with us. Now, who among Israelis are most afraid? What demographics and why?
Hi. So thank you so much for having me, first of all. I do think that this report is very important that we just came out with. We exposed it yesterday at the Knesset caucus meeting that we held in the Knesset caucus for the strengthening of the relationship between Israel and American Jewish community. To answer your question, it's the young Israelis, ages 18 to 29, that are most afraid for their safety while they're traveling abroad. 28% of them answered yes to that question, in comparison to 16% of those 60 and up.
Why do you think that this age group is more afraid to travel abroad, as a visibly Jewish person or a visibly Israeli person, as opposed to the older demographics?
So this would have to be my personal opinion because we did not survey the particular reason,
Right.
But it is my opinion that they're more aware of what is going on in the world right now. They read the news more, they see what's going on more on social media, they're more exposed to anti-Semitism on social media. I think it's very out there. We know that there's a very strong wave, unfortunately, of anti-Semitism in the world, and I think that young people are very much aware of that.
So, do you think that it's a real or a perceived fear? That is to say, that are Israelis targeted abroad to a degree that would warrant this level of fear and anxiety, or is the news and social media, or maybe something else, playing a bigger part here?
I don't know that it's Israelis that are targeted abroad. I think that it's Jewish people that are targeted abroad. And I don't think that it's something that's being inflated. We definitely see a wave of anti-Semitism around the world. We examine also in the United States, but we see this happening around the world. And I think this kind of correlates to what Israelis are feeling. I think it's a reality that comes to light to them as well when they're traveling. They feel Jewish more than when they're abroad because they're not in their Israeli country. It's very easy to be Jewish in Israel. And I think that what we're hearing from American Jews on the other side, that they definitely feel that anti-Semitism is rising in America. I believe that this is something that is very much out there. It's not being hyped by social media. It's just that I think they're more aware of it because of social media.
So did Israelis report perhaps in which countries they felt most afraid to be identified as Jewish?
Honestly, no, we didn't examine in which countries, but I feel like Israelis, you know them, they travel everywhere.
Right.
So I think that it's something that we need to take into account. They probably feel that most of the places that they travel, again, it's not all Israelis, but we did see a large amount of Israelis that feel this. And I think that we also found in the survey that they care about these events of anti-Semitism going on in other countries around the world. So over 60% of Israelis that we asked are convinced that the state of Israel should take actions, including sending rescue teams, when anti-Semitic incidents happen abroad. So it's not just that they're concerned about their own safety while traveling abroad, they're concerned about all Jewish safety when it's happening, when something is happening around the world. So I think that they don't just care about themselves, but they really see a rise in anti-Semitism.
So that actually brings me to my final question, because I understand that in a separate survey conducted in the United States, some 55% of the Jews in the U.S. said that they feel, that they feel an attachment to Israel, as opposed to the 45% who don't, and that's reverse really in Israel. In Israel, the Jews feel 80% of them said that they do feel connected to diaspora Jewry. So what does that mean in terms of everything that we're discussing here? What's the fallout of that sort of thing? What are the implications?
So the data actually says that the American Jews feel more connected to or more concerned about what's happening with Jews in America than they are about Israelis, but they're definitely concerned about Israelis. It's the same as if you ask Jews, are you more concerned, or Israelis? Sorry, if you ask them about, are you concerned more about what's happening to Israelis in Israel? Obviously that they will be, first of all, more concerned about what's going on with Israelis in Israel. I will say that the same survey that you mentioned definitely mentioned that Israelis care, or sorry, that Americans care about what's going on in Israel. 84% of the Americans that we surveyed definitely describe themselves as pro-Israel, and 64% feel emotionally connected to Israel. So the connection is there. We see it on both sides.
All right, Liat, I want to thank you so much for joining us again and sharing your insights. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
ILTV Plus, your news from Israel and more 24/7. Start your free trial today. Subscribe at iltv.tv and watch from any device.